showed it to Carlos, and we have this. Who are they, Jimena? Who are these people in these pictures? This up, this below. Do you know these guys?
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, who are they?
I think that the first image are the. Es que no sé si estoy bien, pero well, I think that is Novicia Rebelde o algo así.
Yes, like RBG Rebelde, yes. And the second image?
The second image, I don't know.
They are called Friends. It was like a TV show long time ago. I think I should use something different. But well, let's see. Think about some people. Vamos a cambiar la dinámica. Tú vas a pensar de alguien. Y yo solamente voy a preguntar y tú me respondes. En esas personas que estás pensando, are they married?
Yes.
Think about a picture. Obviamente vamos a pensar en una foto, algo, si estás viendo una foto mejor. Y yo te pregunto, where was the photo taken? Tell me about a date or a moment that a picture was taken.
Are in was in a park.
Uh-huh. And when was the photo taken? Now tell me the date that it was taken.
In the last month.
Uh-huh. What does she do or he do? The people in the photo, what do they do?
She is sit in a seat.
Okay.
In
Good, very good, very good. So look at this. We have to be able to answer. Now we are going to learn this topic, that is how to ask about someone's identity or how to offer an explanation. So can you help me reading B? I'm going to start. No, you read A. Okay, you start with A. So you start the conversation, please.
yes. Sean, you see the man over there?
Yeah. Sorry, you mean the one next to Marcus?
Yeah. Do you know what his name is?
Sure, that's Seth Richards.
Oh, that's right. Do you know what he does?
He's a movie director.
Oh, that explains why he knows so much about movies.
Excellent. So what are we have to take a look at in these conversations? Look, we are talking about this. Oh, you see that man over there? Remember, like we saw this like long time ago, but now we are trying to review it. And very important how we use the verb to be at the end. Do you know what his name is? We don't say, do you know what is his name? In this question, we are using the verb to be at the end. And then we have some variations here that explains why. No wonder now I understand why. That means that something that we are working with is this. That explains why. So we can say that explains why, no wonder, now I understand why. Vamos a utilizar cualquiera de otras. Puede ser cualquiera de estas dos. No wonder. Y vamos a cambiar algunas cosas como por ejemplo, ok, cambiamos obviamente esto con nuestros nombres. Esto. y esto. Vamos a cambiar esto y obviamente esto lo vamos a modificar. So, ahora tú empiezas. Now you start with A. Now you say Edna.
Edna, you see that man that man here?
Oh, yeah, you mean the one that is next to your mom?
Yeah, do you know what
Este sí.
what his name is?
Oh, sure, that's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's right. Do you know what he did?
Oh, he's an actor. He's a movie actor.
Oh, now I understand why a lot of people take a picture
With him. Excellent, very good. Congratulations. Of course. Now let's move to the next topic, where we have to know how to ask for and make a suggestion. So now again, you start, please. A.
Dude's family invited me to dinner. I have no idea what to bring.
Well, flowers are always nice.
Good idea. Are there any flower shops around here?
There is one between Market and Elm Streets. Do you know where that is?
Oh yeah, I am pretty sure I do. Thanks.
Excellent, very good. Now we are going to eliminate some words like taught, no invitation for dinner, maybe breakfast, no flowers, we don't need flower shop, so we don't have this address. It's not Market, not Elm Street, and that's it. Okay, so I start like Devani's family invited us for breakfast, but I have no idea what to bring.
Well, well to well well you can I don't know. You can I don't know. Well,
What is something similar to flowers or that people bring in a party? No, no es Regina, es Jimena.
well, well, gifts are always nice.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Is there any gift shop around here? Espérame, un minuto.
That's one between little makeup.
Ajá.
I don't know.
Aquí, perdón, Jimena, perdón por la interrupción. Aquí podemos decir dos calles. Es between this and this. ¿Cuál y cuál?
There one between Corintio and 10 de Mayo. Do you know where that is?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure I do. Thanks. Woo, very good. Congratulations, Jimena. You're doing great. Aquí no sé si te puedes dar cuenta. En ambas conversaciones, el hecho de usar where that is y en esta otra que está sure I do, esta de aquí sure I do, suenan bastante como nativo. No sé si lo se alcanza a percibir. ¿Sí lo alcanzas a percibir? Sí, o sea, es como, sure I do. No sería, si somos honestos, no sería la traducción literal que usaríamos nosotros. O sea, pero por eso es como que la idea de estar viendo este tipo de conversaciones. Vámonos entonces con el siguiente tema. Ya son 3 conversaciones distintas. Aquí dice, ay, ¿por qué se ve esto? Ay, Dios, qué loco. No sé qué hice, pero me dio un acceso. Espera. Ay, me dio un acceso, qué loco. Lo voy a poner acá. Ay, no sé ni cómo pasó esto, pero ya no lo puse ese acceso. Ok, listo. Listo, Jimena. Siguiente conversación. Now, do you need a lift home? ¿Qué es un lift home? Es como un ride. Pero no, the most common word we use is ride. Pero este es un lift home, es como un aventón a casa. ¿Ok? Entonces la pregunta sería, hey, Jimena, do you need a lift home?
It's nice of you to offer, but I can manage.
It's not trouble at all, really.
Well, if that's the case, I'd appraise it.
Again, appreciate it.
I'd appreciate.
Excellent. Aquí tenemos some options como a ride home, some help serving or cooking a meal, some help moving something heavy, or some help operating a computer, a fax machine or a VCR or a DVD or any other thing. ¿Qué es lo que vamos a hacer? Y mira, aquí we are going to cancel a live home and we are going to use any of these options, okay? So please start the conversation and choose another option.
Do you need a ride home?
Oh, not really. I just asked for a DD. But thanks a lot.
Oh, no problem. You sure? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Maybe next time, okay?
Okay, it's fine.
Excellent. Very good. Now, I'm going to modify the conversation choosing a different situation. No, estoy trabajando. Do you need, Jimena, do you need some help serving the meal?
Mami, ¿te acuerdas que vas a ver la tele?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure, no problem at all.
Okay, very thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Or it's a pleasure. Very good. Now, we are going to read the following text that is related to the first video. And what was the first video about? About etiquette or global cultural differences. So, hey, Jimena, can you help me reading paragraph number 1, please?
Yes. Whether you're doing business around vacationing in a distant land or simply welcoming guests from another culture with a little research and preparation, accompanied by someone's sensitivity training, you can make a lasting and favorable impression instead of a disastrous one. You never get another chance to make a first impression.
Here are rules of social interaction to keep in mind. Number 1, be patient when building trust in establishing relationships. People from other countries take much longer than Americans and observe greater formality than we do. You wouldn't want to ask someone from Great Britain his or her occupation on first meeting. Next, please. Okay, these two, both of this.
The first?
Both 1 and 2, please.
Okay. It is courteous to always stand when you are introduced to another human being, no matter the culture. Slow down your speech and don't raise your voice because you think someone cannot understand you. Have you noticed how people just take longer to be understood? Film doesn't usually encourage compression,
Comprehension.
compression.
Comprehension.
People with foreign accents are not necessarily hard of hearing.
Never slap someone's back. The good old Joe American routine, touching, and rules of social distance vary in other cultures. And now let's continue with the last one. Nonverbal.
Non-verbal interaction cues are extremely important. Yes or an affirmative not often means yes, I hear you in Asian culture, not yes, I agree. But looking at the interaction through American eyes, you might think you just closed the door of the century. You must understand that by avoiding the world, no? Some Asians believe they can avoid creating any disharmony, and harmony is a cherished value in this culture.
Correct. That means that people love, like, and respect all that differences. So let's take a look to on one more video related to this. Let me stop sharing about these cultural differences, about how people. Ya en el primer video vimos greetings, what is important, maybe to say hi, to be respectful, to be on time, etc. But we have a little bit more differences, and it's really important that if you want to travel all over the world, that we can understand this.
The USA and Europe are similar in size, population, standard of living, and lifestyle. But as an American myself, after spending more than 1 year of my life in Europe and visiting every single country on the continent, there are some major cultural differences that need to be addressed. Bonjour! Disclaimer. I know it's impossible to group Europe into one category. So these are general realizations that may not exist in every European country. Here are 18 cultural differences that Europe has over the USA. Second bourgeois in Paris. 1. Pay to use public toilets. It's not free to pee or do your business in public. You have to pay usually €1 to use the bathroom, even if it's just to wash your hands. 2. Water is not free. When you order water in a restaurant, it usually comes in a tiny glass bottle and costs €2 to €5. They love sparkling water too, so make sure to tell them you want still water. Can I get a still water, please? Travel tip. Carry around an empty water bottle and fill it up in sinks or public fountains. It's all purified. 3. Every city has history. In America, we don't have much to talk about before the 17th century. In Europe, some castles are 500 years older than the US even became a country. 4. They drive less. Public transportation is everywhere and efficient in Europe, and most cities are pedestrian and bike friendly. There's really no need for a car, and gas is too expensive anyways. 5. Sports are not a family affair. In the States, we pregame and drink beers and tailgate for sports games with our families and friends. In Europe, sports aren't such big events, except for soccer, which they love. 6. Smaller food portions. This is the size of a normal meal in Europe. And this is a standard Coke. Also, ketchup is not free and comes in glass bottles. Seriously? 7. Cigarettes are fashionable. They aren't so looked down upon among Europeans either. I guess they don't have the DARE program in Europe. In other words, smoking equals cool. 8. They dress nicer. They don't just throw on basketball shorts, a university t-shirt, and sandals. Sup, dude? They always dress to impress. And about those haircuts. 9. They can speak multiple languages. It's not uncommon to meet Europeans who speak 4, 5, or 6 languages fluently.
This beer is very good. Das Bier ist ausgezeichnet. To pivo je výborný. Je to pivo очень вкусné. To pivo je veľmi dobré.
10. They recycle more. Metal cans, plastic, paper, bottles. Europeans recycle more and take better care of their environment. In Germany, the government incentivizes you with 25 cents for returning an empty bottle. Empty water bottles can make you rich in Germany. Many Americans seem to throw trash on the streets without thinking about the consequences. 11. Coins actually matter. Don't lose your euros. This handful of coins is 20 euros or 24 US dollars. If these were quarters, it'd be about $3. See the difference? 12. Toilets have 2 buttons. This makes a lot more sense, right? Big ones for poop, small ones for pee, to save a lot of water every flush. Also, bathroom sinks are tiny.
It's like for little kids.
13. Electric cars. It's more and more common to drive small electric cars in Europe. Once again, better for the environment. And you can pull into these parking spaces and you charge it. It's so simple. 14. Fewer trash cans. I never have this problem back home, but in Europe, it always seems like there's a trash can every 2 miles. But believe it or not, the streets are clean. 15. Street signs are tricky. Can't find the street sign? Look on the building. It's usually there. 16. Dinner is an all-night activity. Expect to spend 3 or more hours schmoozing and eating with your friends at the dinner table. In the US, if we wait more than 5 minutes to get our check, we talk to the manager. Don't be in a hurry if you're going to dinner with Europeans. 17. They love the outdoors. You'll notice this by seeing tons of parks and outdoor cafes all over Europe. They love their leisure time and they don't use their phones as much as we do. 18. Longer vacation. Many European countries, like France, have 6 or more weeks of vacation, or holiday as I call it. In the US, 2 weeks would be generous. So, what do you guys think? Did I miss anything on this list? I'd love to know your thoughts.
Okay, so this was amazing, like knowing a little bit more about the cultural differences. And let's check your comprehension. Mira, is it true or false that Americans are as formal as people from other countries?
True?
No, they are not very formal. They are less formal than Europeans. Well, maybe more formal than Mexicans. That would be true. Number 2, after you are introduced to a person from Great Britain in London, is it a good idea to ask, hey, what do you do? Good idea, bad idea?
Gemela, ¿quieres probar a papita
Wow.
más chirosa?
A ver, enséñale. Jimena, te habla Shanti, que si quieres probar unas papitas enchilosas.
Yes.
Okay, show, enséñale. Ah, no, pero no trae las papitas enchilosas, Santi. Okay, number 3. The author suggests standing when introduced, like, hey, suggest standing when you introduce it. Espérame, esa sí no me acuerdo.
True?
True. Well, yes, let's write it true. Number 4, if you think a person cannot understand you, speak louder.
I think true or
I remember it says it won't help you to make them understand. It's like that's a good idea for me because when people don't understand, especially my kids, I speak louder, but now I know that I have not, or I don't need to. When some people not, what is to not is to say yes. They may mean that they hear you, not that they agree. What do you think?
true?
True.
Yeah.
Yes, and some people may not like a friendly slap on the back. Some people do not like it.
False?
True, because some people, especially European people, they don't like you go like slap that because they say, hey, I'm not your friend. Maybe my friend, yes, but anyone, no. Now it's time to talk about heart to heart. This section, remember, is opinion. Okay? A ver, vamos a leer esto. Dice, think about your own culture, we already said, and write or say about good advice, what do you agree and disagree, and what is a suggestion you have to do or you can do. Esta actividad la podemos hacer escrita, así tal cual viene aquí, que dice great, o la podemos hacer hablada. O sea, no sé qué es lo que quieras practicar, si quieres practicar en la escritura o el... Ok, ¿qué consejo, si tú le pudieras dar un consejo, Jimena, a alguien, qué consejo le darías? De esto, de diferencias culturales. Ya, tráeme el teléfono para ver si ya marcó.
La Rosita.
Ah, en la mochila aquí en la sala. Escucho. Ok.
Consejo de diferentes culturas, ¿verdad?
De algo que a alguien le pudieras dar como el consejito de, a ver, tú quieres como no tener problemas. Oh,
Okay, well, I mm,
a ver, espérame dame un minutito, Jimena. Un minutito, espérame. Ready. Ok, sí, perdón, te interrumpí, perdón. Dale.
okay, eh, well, you can, um, for example, in Monterey, I think that you can like mm, you can edit the dress like a lot the hot.
Ajá.
You can, for example, in the backpack, you are sure forever, like every time your backpack are closed in the city or in the taxis and the bus. And
Creo que se muteó, se puso, se puso en... Ok.
yes, sorry. I don't know. And we can to you can like es que no sé cómo se dice
¿Cuál es la palabra?
como explorar la cultura o lugares artísticos, o sea,
Yes, explore the culture and the scientific places.
Just explore, and you can visit the ¿cómo se? Yes, you visit the mountains in the city and the museums of history.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Congratulations. So now we're going to end with a mindset class about how to switch our mindset. Hold on. Let me just unmute. Okay, ready.
Dean, is just such an honor, and I'm going to be talking today about mindset. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be giving you strategies that will help you in business and in life to achieve greater happiness, greater wealth, greater success, and greater health, most importantly at all. Now, I know many times people are like, well, I don't really care about mindset. I want to learn the strategies and the tactics and teach me all the good stuff. Well, here's what I will tell you, and here's what I've learned, that this absolutely is the good stuff. And I believe that with a healthy mindset, that you can achieve anything in life. And I know that kind of sounds crazy, meaning I don't think you can fly or disappear or do anything like that. But I really believe that if you do utilize the tools that I'm going to show you today, you can absolutely have a different life in a day, in 2 days, in 10 days, because it all starts with what is inside of our mind. And I'd like to give you a little bit of backstory, if that's okay, before I get into it, because I think sometimes when we see people on platforms like this, we assume things about them, right? We assume that maybe they just came from a wealthy family, or they've had things handed to them and they've had such of an easy life. And so we make these assumptions sometimes. I know I've done it, right? Have any of you done that? I've done it too. So what I thought might be a little bit useful is to kind of tell you a little bit about my background and where I've came from, so that you can really understand that when I say anybody can achieve anything, no matter what your backstory is, I believe it more than anything because I'm actually a prodigy of it. So I want you to think about when you were 13 years old. See, I haven't lived at home since I was 13. I have a wonderful relationship with my parents, and I love to say that. In fact, the story I'm about to tell you, I actually got permission from my mom to tell. I remember being at a conference, and they were talking about how important letting people know who you are is, and talking about your story so that you can really relate to people and people can understand that everyone are just people. We're all the same, right? So I went to this conference, and I remember getting on the plane and just crying and writing a letter to my mom asking her if it was okay if I told our story. And it took me 2 weeks to give my mom the letter. And when I finally did, she didn't talk to me for about 2 weeks, which is really rare. We talk usually a couple times a week. And she said, Krista, let's go to lunch to talk about the letter. And we went to lunch, and we never brought the letter up. So that was my A-OK to kind of tell our story. So when I was younger, my mom was very physically abusive. And so when I turned 13, I finally got to a place where I couldn't tolerate it anymore. And so I started running away from home. I lived on the streets. I lived in abandoned buildings. And it was a rough time, right? So finally, after a year of that back and forth, I ended up breaking the law. I ended up breaking into my 7th grade PE locker room and stealing all of the girls' lunch money and clothes because we didn't have any. And so that ended me up in juvenile hall. And let me just tell you something about juvenile hall. If you ever get incarcerated, which you shouldn't, make sure you make friends with the mean person, because I remember there was this girl, and I thought she was like 8 foot tall, you know, and I didn't belong there. I was really a good kid. I had a good family. It was almost like I lived in two different families. It was like we had this loving family where we went to church and we went on camping trips, and I had the most loving, wonderful father ever. And I had a wonderful mother too, but then she'd be very abusive. So it was like I lived almost in 2 different households, if that makes sense. So as I'm in juvenile hall, I watch this girl take this other girl's head and bash it into the toilet seat, and blood is flying everywhere and her teeth are flying out. And I just remember thinking like, oh my gosh, did not belong in this place. So that girl ended up getting put in isolation for a few weeks, and then when she got out, we became friends, and she was like my protector. So don't advise you to do that. But I stayed there for a few months, and then I got sent to a group home. The group home was called Hidden Hills Group Home for Girls, and there was nothing hidden about it. We got dropped off every day in a big, huge green bus labeled Group Home for Girls, which basically put like a label on our heads that we were different. And so kids chastised us, they made fun of us, which made me feel even smaller than I already felt. You know, when you're somebody of abuse, you really have difficulty with feeling self-worth. I'm not sure if you ever have felt like that. Have you ever felt like dealt with feeling good enough, or feeling worthy enough, or feeling like you deserve things? Well, because of my childhood, I had to really, really work on feeling like I was good enough. And that's why I want to talk to you today about mindset and how you can utilize your mindset strategies to completely have the most healthy, wealthy, happy, successful life. After the group home, I ended up going to a foster home. So I haven't lived at home since I was 13 years old. I wanted to say a couple more things so you can really understand the person that's in front of you. It's like I'm this powerhouse at times, but that I'm also sometimes still have to work on feeling good enough, because I wet the bed until I was 10, and I couldn't read until I was in 5th grade. I was actually in a special education class, and both of those had to do with the abuse, right? So that's who I am when I was younger. But I'm telling you that because now I'm somebody who has several multi-million-dollar companies. I've built everything on my own. And I always tell people, if I can do it, you can do it. And so what I want to encourage you to do from this second on, anytime you see somebody that's successful, and I don't care where you are in life, I want you to tell yourself, if they can do it, I can do it. And start adopting that philosophy. But here's the deal. You've got to believe it, right? You've got to believe it. So I'm going to teach you some strategies today that are going to help you be successful in business, in your personal life, in your marriage, in your relationships, be a better parent, and ultimately have all the success that you deserve. All right, so first I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you about, this is a graph that I made, and I know that thoughts turn into things, right? Your thoughts are your attitudes, your beliefs, right? It's your philosophies, it's the things that you're thinking about. Those things that you think about, they turn into your actions. What are your behaviors? What are your habits? What are your rituals? What are your routines? And those routines, those rituals, those habits, that's what creates your life. It creates your success, it creates your growth, it creates all the good stuff in your life, and it all starts from your thoughts. Now here's what you have to understand, is that our thoughts can work for us or they can work against us. So what I'm going to be doing today, and understand that I am not a rocket scientist or a neuroscientist or a doctor, but one thing that I do have a love for is learning. And I have a I love learning about the brain and how it can work and how we can train our brain to work for us and not against us. So I encourage you, my daughters, I had them take this and laminate it. I give this to all of
We're going to stop it here. Nos vamos a llevar de tarea esto. Vamos a pensar, how do I think? What are my attitudes? What do I believe? What is my philosophy in life? What are my habits, my routines, my rituals, and how all this is helping me to create a better life? If this is working, we continue. If this is not, we are going to ask ourselves, is it working? Entonces, tareita esta clase se las voy a subir y la van a estar meditando. Mis pensamientos llevan a mis acciones, y estas acciones, hábitos, y estos hábitos, pues, son un estilo de vida. Si estas cosas están funcionando, por ejemplo, que Jimena dices, todavía eres muy joven, pero obviamente pues tienes que ir pensando, si no, tú te vas a preguntar, si no, ¿qué puedo cambiar como para decir esto que tenga resultado? Igual Carlos, en su trabajo, ¿sí está funcionando o no? En cualquier tipo de cosa, puede ser en salud, puede ser en la cuestión social, en la cuestión educativa, y por lo menos darnos cuenta de qué va a servir. Digo, en el caso de tuyo, Jimena, que eres muy joven, es darte cuenta que siempre vale la pena estar conscientes de que si pudimos entender un poquito el video, esta chica viene de una familia disfuncional y se convirtió en multimillonaria. Eso significa que si nosotros somos un poquito más normales, si trabajamos, podemos tener grandes resultados, que es algo que yo quiero llevarlos a ustedes, tanto a ti, Jimena, que eres muy joven, y apoyarte en que tengas todo un futuro próspero, porque sé que uno de tus sueños es viajar todo. Entonces, esa es la segunda tarea, seguir trabajando en nuestro collage. Vamos a hacer un collage board de tarea, puede ser digital o puede ser recortable. En el caso a lo mejor de tuyo, Jimena, pues si te divierte más recortar, si no, me van a hacer un collage de todas las imágenes que quieran incluir. Por ejemplo, vamos a incluir París, vamos a incluir los viajes del mundo, todo lo que le vamos a pedir, pues nosotros somos personas de fe, a Dios o a la persona que ustedes crean, qué es lo que queremos, ¿no? Incluso ese viaje en familia, ese descanso, lo que ustedes quieran. Son dos cosas, analizarnos y trabajar o visualizar lo que queremos. Eso nos va a ayudar a tener más claridad, enfoque y decir, por aquí voy. ¿Voy bien? Le sigo. ¿No? Le corrijo. ¿Ok? ¿Que se queda clara la tarea?
Yes.
Excelente. Pues muchas gracias por conectarte, Jimena. Nos vemos la próxima semana. Les mando el enlace una vez que esté listo y nos vemos muy pronto. La próxima semana. Felices vacaciones, entre comillas. Chao, chao.
Goodbye. Thank you.